Hey, what's up, everyone? My name's Lionel. I'm your host of LT Productions, and you are watching I Watch You Watch. Today, we're covering Married to Medicine. This is season 12, episode 13. I appreciate you for coming to my channel. Please like this video. You can also subscribe, share it, and you can leave your comments below. Let's get into this week's episode. Well, y'all, I was really trying to debate on if I was going to review this week. It wasn't a bad episode, but I am in a mood about the show. And frankly, this isn't just about this show. I'm really getting tired. By the end of these seasons of reality TV, I am just not feeling it. It's the same thing. It starts out so strong and then we hear. And when I saw the previews for next week, I'm gonna be in the mood, y'all. Forewarning. It's gonna be a short one too, but I'm gonna be in the mood. We begin where we left off on last week with Eugene and Damon. They're talking about the Met Gala and how he feels like Heavenly is disrespected Toya, and talking about how they were planning and have been planning how to treat Toya towards this Met Gala. Wanting Damon to step up, and Damon's like, look, the women are going to bicker and do this, da 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 da. Are we going to do the Met Gala or not? That's still, in my opinion, Dr. Damon still sideswiping his feelings. However, what can be done? Do you like? Look, you can suggest to your spouse, don't do this, don't do that. Why do y'all think that that's supposed to happen? Like they're supposed to listen and y'all be acting like your spouse is supposed to reprimand and be your daddies and your mommies and discipline. That's not what you're there for. Yes, you can be accountable to each other, and you should be the one that they can reach and say, hey, let's change this. But y'all been forever trying to make Damon chastise his wife. You don't chastise your spouse. Where did y'all get that thinking from? But the thing is, y'all will say this about folk on TV, but you know you don't see that going on in your home. That's weird. You act like Eugene really got Toya under control. You think Cecil got Simone under control? Where she's hollering. Do I personally feel that it's right how these doctors, not just Heavenly, Eugene has Heavenly as a target because Heavenly was the one that said it. Heavenly said we, and it is a we. No matter how vocal they are or what they do behind Toya's back. It's a collective of people that want that to happen. And that's where I'm sticking with. And until someone says, this is Heavenly, she's just doing it. No. Heavenly was the one to actually bring it to the front. They'll do the disrespect, but nobody's going to actually say that we had a plan. Anyways, Curtis at this point said, look, let's just all decide. Are we going to do it? Are we going to contribute or not? Most of the guys said yes. Steve said no, and I don't blame him. Steve went on to give his explanation, and Curtis was like, no, you don't have to say that. That's your choice and what you want to do. But Steve said, y'all are not involving us in anything, and you just want us to just give over money for what? We're in this group, and you're excluding us. And I don't blame him. And he said something about, I'm not going to make a decision without my wife. Like, it don't even matter. Because I'd make the decision for all of us. No, we're not going to be disrespected and feeling excluded. While y'all don't have anything together. Yeah. So that kind of ended there. The ladies go on this rafting thing, and they're getting some of them are getting massages and all that. The men later on are going to get massages, and a couple people decided to do it. Damon lied in the confessionals, but I know he told that lady that he got a massage. Trust me. And even if he didn't, it's definitely going to get out. So, and Dr. Heavenly can watch the show too. So I know people are in the comments like, oh, so what else is Damon lying about? I don't know what he's lying about, but there's no way he would have got around that. But most of them just had like feet rubs. Scott wanted his shoulder rubbed and all that stuff. Of course, they were all kind of milking on, oh, you sure you want to do that? Like, yeah. After they got done with that, the ladies do something. I don't know if there's I think they're off that little raft thing and probably sitting down. I don't know what the subject came up, but it was they started talking about Quad. Quad began to be vulnerable. She said, I know I haven't been vulnerable, but this is me being my most vulnerable yet. And of course, she talked about wanting to have a child and wanting to be with King and how much she loves him and all that. Da, 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 da. A lot of things have been hard since the IVF treatment has not took and all that. And then we find out a little bit more backstory as to what else has been going on. King did propose. He suggested, why don't we go to the courthouse and just get married? And Quad said she wasn't taking him serious. Also adding that she wanted to talk a little bit more because we needed more structure as to what this is all about. That's good. What's the structure behind, Quad, I have to ask this question. What is the structure behind you having a child? I'm not going the Curtis route. I'm gonna get my feelings about that. But it's just like, I don't believe that you should be getting married to someone if you don't want to, or if you don't have the right structure. But bringing a life into this world, you're legally bound for 18 years. You're forever bound to a man if you do bring a child into this world. So, I don't know. It's a lot. Part of the hang up with King right now with Quad is that she does not cater to him like he wants to be catered to. She was cooking every day. That has ceased. She got burnt out. I don't think that Quad wants to get into some type of traditional relationship. He's Jamaican. Jamaican men want that type of tradition to happen. That's what he's grown up around. That's what he's raised up with. And I'm sure this baby thing is like, well, you're getting what you want. What can I get out of this? What am I getting out of this? It should be the child, but that's more Quad's desire. Heavenly says, well, he's getting all this wifey stuff without any type of marriage. She said it a different way, but I'm saying it the way I am. Like basically milking the cow for free. Quad got a little bit defensive, but she said in her confessional that these ladies don't have to tiptoe around her, so I didn't understand why she got defensive right then and there. Like, he should be getting married. Now, I just don't think that you got to get married. I don't know about this whole marriage thing, but times have changed, things have evolved, and you have a lot of traditional people within this group. Anyways, we're moving on, and now it's time for the last night dinner, and it's supposed to be couples therapy individually. And of course, we got to ask all of these questions yet again. I'm not going through all of the questions. I thought it was really telling when it was asked, who do you think would say the wrong name during sex with their spouse? And they all said it was Toya. Although Heavenly is the loudest, everyone knows, or at least feels, that Toya disrespects her husband. Heavenly is the target. I am not at all leaving Heavenly from whatever she's done this season and seasons past. Please don't get that. Do I root for her? Yeah, I do. However, Eugene, you got Heavenly on your mind, but the whole group just thinks that you're a coward. Whether they don't say it to your face, they say it behind your back. That's what's up. Was there any other question? No. They did ask Angel. No, Bernard was just crazy on his own to come. Angel, I don't know why you brought that man or invited that man. I'll say that much. There was no reason for that. Because they trying to figure out what's going on. You know that there's nothing there. There's nothing there. We ain't got, well, we did get that solo scene with you, but we don't, there's nothing for us to be invested in. But I mean, that's production as far as allowing us into your life in that way. But no. Was there any other question? Oh, now I remember how things started with the girl talk earlier. Who has a perfect marriage? And Heavenly was like, that's our confession. We know it's not perfect. Heavenly knows it's not perfect. But she's not about to let y'all know. That's all I can say. The men and women, they split up. Surprisingly enough, the women did not have a moment. The men decided to act up, i.e. Curtis. They talk about men's emotions, and Of course, a lot of the men didn't even want to do this therapy session. A male therapist came over there and all that good stuff, and they not really wanting to open up to their emotions and all that. I thought, I could have sworn, did y'all see this last night where Simone had to tell King that that's chauvinistic, like a chauvinistic behavior, something like that? Did y'all see that? Because I'm sure I seen something like that as a clip. Was it on the show last night or in a clip? I can't remember, y'all. But she was like, that's chauvinist behavior. He's like, no, it's not. No, it's not. Look, I'm just expecting anyone from the Caribbean to come with traditional values until you prove me wrong. Unfortunately, that stereotype is there, and we shouldn't judge a person or book by its cover. True. But that's what we're normally seeing. So we're going to see that traditional caveman mentality, barbaric. We're going to see all that. We are going to see all that. Whenever they got on King stuff, Curtis decided he wants to interject himself into this whole IVS situation. And he feels like why Quad and King are not having a baby right now or have not conceived is because you're doing it out of the order of God. Most of us know what the Bible says about that, or at least what we've been told that the order is. First come love, then come marriage, and then comes the baby and the baby carriage. That's more of a rhyme, but that's kind of the order of things that happen as far as the sanction of what should happen within a relationship, a marriage, and then family. We get it. How many babies are born on this earth where no one has said, I do to, Curtis? Why would you open your mouth and let your big lips talk? I got big lips too, so. And try to say anything from the Bible? Do we have to hold you in whatever you did 5, 6 years ago, 7 years ago? No and yes. Because you still give off that you're still a whore. It's just now Jackie goes and lets you go frolic and do whatever. To sit up there after what you did, and the only reason why you weren't ever going to confess, your infidelity was caught in the Atlanta Hartford, whatever you want to call it, airport, that you were dumb enough to be seen with your lover in broad daylight. Obviously, you thought you were untouchable. That arrogance and pride was on you, and you just thought nobody's going to notice me. This, I think, you about 6.7 feet tall. Nobody would ever notice me with another woman. But if this is the order of God, when Jackie asked you for a baby, you said no. Where was the Bible and God then? Along with you being an adulterer. King brought it up in the most polite way, which I probably would not have. And he said, yeah, I did it. And I asked for forgiveness for God. The King said, well, I asked him for forgiveness this morning, and I'm going to ask him for more tonight, and I know tomorrow. Yeah, King, you were too cute with that. Because how dare you, sir? I can't tell someone. I can tell them what the principles says in the Bible. I can do that. If they choose to do it another way, cool. But guess what? When God wants a child here, he's getting them here. Now, sometimes it's done in the most horrendous ways, as we've seen in the Bible, and even now. I don't have no answers for that. However, it was still meant for these children to be here. Yeah, sir, you should have sat this one out. And sir, you should have apologized to him. You really shouldn't have opened your mouth. Or if you even wanted to give some guidance, you should have said, you know what, sir, I was a whore. I was a hoe. And and I made my mistakes. I knew the order of God, but I didn't follow it. I don't want you to make the same mistakes as me, and maybe you should follow this order, and maybe you could have some of the things that you want. Some. If you could have done that, it might have been a little bit more received. Probably people still been looking at you crazy, but it wouldn't have been like, who are you? Highlights from the women's conversation. Mimi was able to open up, in regards to the struggles that they have having a special needs child. and just wondering what the future really holds. Like, will this child need still special care? Will he have to stay with me forever? Because some people are able to function at a level, even with autism, have a job and all of that. You know, you don't know the strength of what this, I don't want to call it a defection. I don't know what the word is. I don't want to be disrespectful. You don't know the whole effects that this could happen or how they can mature in this. So she also wants from Steve more appreciation and more of a, what is the word I'm trying to think of? She wants it like, babe, we got this. And I looked at Steve when the girls had their own trip and how he said something so traditional. And I was like, when he was like, when Mimi comes back, I'm going to take a few days off and go on vacation. I can't really handle it. So it just lets me know how much more of a task that this is on, that this toll takes on Mimi, because Mimi's the one that really is with the children. Yes, we see that you still operate. We saw you at the beginning of the season when you were disciplining Stevie and all that. In the car, we saw the different type of methods trying to help, you know, de-escalate the situation and all that. But it's that same thing, that same tradition where the woman really has to tend to the children. And you worn out just from a couple of days from a trip, and then you're gonna put all of that back on her. So it's not gonna really be a vacation. Just saying. So I like you, Steve, but it's just like, yeah. Eugene and Dr. Damon, they talk again. Eugene wants to come to resolve. And he just wants to make sure that he is heard and acknowledged. And he brought up, you know, I know how frustrated I was the other night and how I could have been disrespectful. My wife had been disrespected to a point I had to walk off. And Dr. Damon said, look, just don't talk about my child. Now, some people feel a certain way that because of Dr. Heavenly has talked about other folks' families, that they have all rights to do that. In that term, yes. I don't think Dr. Heavenly spoke on her children. Has she tried to hit them where it hurts? Yes. And it would hurt them if they start talking about Damon Jr. And if you put that spin on that, then of course, if people wanted to disrespect y'all, but still Eugene has respect. Damon was on guard. He did let out during the whole therapy session, like he's really on edge and ready to blow. He don't know where his child is and all that. Now people are trying to say, I wonder what they really said to him to really make him leave like that. I don't know that. We don't know the structure of the household. We don't know how much Dr. Heavenly really blows up on them or whatnot. Damon has been always different from the other children. He's never wanted to be on camera and all that. And I'm not calling him sensitive in a derogatory way, but he could be just that sensitive. We don't know. We don't know him. And just could not handle however Dr. Heavenly went off when she found out about the whole situation. From that point, everyone heads back to Atlanta. Scott gets his own glasses, and he looks pretty good. Quad and King, Kirk. I forgot to say Kirk earlier. They have a talk. It looks like since Ghana, it's been bad. I think the downslope has been since he tried to propose to Quad, and then his limit was really whatever happened in Ghana, where Quad was talking to him a certain way that he felt like Quad was ungrateful. Quad said, wait, what's up? Like, Quad was trying, she was trying to hold her words because I know she wanted to go clear off. You could tell. She stuttered. She went on and said what she said, but she was like, is this going to be the right thing to say on camera? I'm kind of just summarizing. It was like they're at the breaking point and they don't know how to come back from it. If Quad's already stopped catering the way that he wants him to be catered, I mean, it is done. They talked about therapy. Yeah, because Kirk was like, yeah, I don't think I need therapy. And Quad was like, you know, you do need therapy. I kind of feel like when King was talking, well, Quad said something where she was like, I'm still working through some stuff. Are you healed from Dr. Greg? It's okay if you're not, but you have moved on and started a new relationship. And nobody should pay for what that man did to you. And again, if you're not healed, it's okay. But don't make King be your punching bag because of him. That's all I'm saying. So I heard that it's just the little things you gotta just pick up in here and say, I wonder what's up there, because we don't ever get the other end of stuff sometimes on these shows. But that was kind of how it ended, and it looks pretty bad, y'all, between Kirk and Quad. And why I treat Kirk the way that I am at this point is because of how he decided to move on social media. Next week, y'all, come and see my mood. These ladies have pissed me off, just to let you know. Do you think I sounded pissed in this review? Hopefully not. Hopefully not. I should have more specifics, but I'm ready for the show to end. I don't know how I'm going to do this reunion. Depending on how pissed I am next week, I may just wrap it all up, because it's probably going to be 3 parts. Wrap it all up in one. I'm still deciding right now. We shall see. And just let it be that. That's all I do have. I appreciate you for coming. I really do. Like, comment, subscribe, share. And until the next one, peace.